welcome everyone. It's Dawn here from Your Life Reinvented Hypnotherapy again with another success story with Tina here today. And Tina and I finished working together about 3 weeks ago. So, welcome, Tina.
Hello.
Hi. So, Tina, I'm curious, for my viewers that are watching here today, what made you reach out to me and book an appointment for a consultation to get in control of the depression issues that were going on?
What got me to
Yeah, to
book?
hit the
Yes.
button.
Yes. Um, I was I would say I was at my deepest, lowest point and I was crying a lot. And I felt not myself. Like I don't know what's going on.
Hmm.
And I've done the therapies and I was on medication, wasn't anymore at that time, but I felt like I'd done what I could and I don't have control over this,
Hmm.
and that I did feel deeply somewhere that my body was telling me this is not like what you're doing is just masking this issue. There's
Hmm.
something wrong, like something happened and it keeps coming up. And I basically would have no control over this mood, this depression, the depressive symptom,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So that's when thought, maybe hypnotherapy is going to be the answer for me.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
that's when looked into places that did hypnotherapy and then found Dawn through the internet.
Yeah, and
Yes.
and so, when you met me and when we were doing the consultation, yeah, there was lots of stuff going on. So outside of the medication and the therapy, was there anything else that you tried to help you with the depressive symptoms that you were experiencing?
Well, I would say that I didn't do anything like other things,
Hmm.
like maybe like acupuncture or whatever else. I
Hmm.
did like through therapy, they teach you like CBT and
Hmm.
changing your thoughts or like think about your thoughts and realize that they're not true. Like you
Hmm.
think about what the problem is. And so I was doing those things like um through what I learned from the therapy. But
Hmm.
yeah, besides what I mentioned, I wasn't doing different
Yeah.
other things either. Like no other herbals or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when when we worked together, because we worked for a really short time, we worked together for a month and we
Hmm.
worked through my intensive program. So, what did you find? How did you find that experience working together with me over the month? How did you feel during that time? And how are you feeling now that we're done?
Hmm. So over the month when I was working with you, it in the intensive therapy, it was helpful to see you often, I guess I would say,
Hmm.
because yes, I would get you don't want like negative thoughts to come back in and
Hmm.
then bring you back down. So I when I was in the therapy sessions with you, I would have, hypnosis therapy. It it helped kind of take bring me out, like bring me out of the depressive state. I felt actually normal.
Hmm.
And, as the days go on, you know, because I was depressed for a very, very long time, it does kind of come back slowly,
Hmm.
but then you were there again.
Hmm.
And then so it kind of felt like that throughout the month. Like I was feeling all right, but then if I got back into a low or my thoughts were coming back in that were not so great, I would have a session with you again
Hmm.
anyway. And it got to the point that was just actually the first week. And the second week, it was more like I was actually okay. So I was feeling good. And then, if if I had a negative thought, I'm like, oh, no, oh, that's okay. I'm seeing Dawn like in 2 days, I guess. It's like it kind of was it was is nice to know that I had someone there that
Hmm.
I'll be talking to in like just 2 or 3 more days.
Hmm.
So that was very helpful. And then slowly you kind of notice. the small changes, but you notice like things are improving.
Mhm.
So, um, yeah, that's kind of what happened during the
Yeah.
month.
And,
Hmm.
like I taught you the self-hypnosis. I taught you some
Hmm.
other tools and techniques that are working up here. It's not coping and managing. So for you, like when you look at the things that you learned over the month, what, how did you enjoy that? What was your experience, learning those skills and the self-hypnosis?
Hmm. The self-hypnosis really helped in kind of getting me back to a present moment, relaxing myself,
Mm-hmm.
and then, asking superconscious to help me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that really helped. Um, so, and then with the advice on just changing your mindset, like instead of saying, oh, this is not gonna go, this is not happening for me, or like, oh yeah, that's never gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Don's taught me, don't think like that. It's like I'm in the process of
Mm-hmm.
working on this, like I'm in the process of setting boundaries, for example, So when I say that and I think it, it's what will happen, right? But you're giving
100%.
yourself something to you're giving yourself like this is going to happen. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
saying this the best way. Like I can't describe it in the best way, but it's giving me like I don't want to use the word hope, but feels like that. Like you're
Mm-hmm.
you're going towards something. You have a goal, you have things you're actively trying to change.
Yeah, and then that's the thing, and that's, very good point. Like we did the hypnosis and hypnotherapy work together, and then you had your own work to do on your own to help shift things faster. And
Hmm.
when you look at, hypnosis and hypnotherapy, even coaching, like what were your thoughts on hypnosis and hypnotherapy before you met me?
Um, I told you during the consultation that I had no experience with it. I didn't really even know, you know, but I was open to it because I was in the lowest I could ever be,
Hmm.
It's like whatever, give me
Hmm.
whatever that can help. Um, so but I had a little knowledge. Like I knew that it would help with trauma that I wasn't aware of
Hmm.
consciously,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? And then yes, and then you had just solidified, yeah, that whatever is happening is something probably from childhood,
Hmm.
and it's there, and we have to work on that subconsciously,
Hmm.
through the superconscious mind
Hmm.
to remove it. Because I don't know what the problem is, right? And I probably can't heal it consciously, which I believed as well.
Yeah,
So,
you
yeah,
can't solve an unconscious problem consciously, right? Because the things that you tried in the past to help you resolve the depression symptoms, they were coping and managing. They were still coming up, right?
yes.
And so that
Hmm.
tells me, very apparently that it's not a conscious problem, and there's no amount of coping or managing strategies will get up there to resolve that. And that's why we use the hypnosis, right? To
Hmm.
get to the root
Yes.
cause. Yeah. And
Hmm.
so I guess when you look at the work that we've done over that month, you saw some really big changes. So I guess for you, like, what are you most looking forward to now in your life and your future?
I've honestly noticed that I'm out of that deep, like depressed state. And after I was out, like this layer of thick darkness is gone.
Hmm.
And when that was gone, I could see things so much more clearly. So going forward, like when I was in a depressed state, all you can think about is, oh, you just don't want to do this, don't want to do that, don't want to get up, don't want
Hmm.
to blah blah blah. A lot of don'ts, right?
Yeah.
And I realized I wasn't actually taking care of myself. And after I got out of that haze.
Hmm.
I noticed, and I didn't notice it before. I noticed now I wasn't doing anything for myself. Like everything was for others.
Hmm.
So going forward, I'm doing things I never have done for, my whole lifetime, like 30 some years. I'm trying to figure out what I like to do. So I'm gonna like actually start looking for things that I enjoy. Like I'm gonna go join like a choir because
Hmm.
I really wanna sing. Um, I'm also was looking at um doing yoga after work and trying to fit it in. Like, so I work the schedule. I'm gonna go do yoga after that. I
Yeah.
would have never done that before. I would have been like, no, I gotta go home. I gotta take care of my kids.
Hmm.
Like, yeah. And then now it's like, well, I was not very happy before. But now putting things that I enjoy into my own life will create a more positive me so that I can take care of my kids properly, and not have it affect my relationships.
Yeah.
So those things I never done. Like for 30 years, I haven't done anything for myself, like nothing. So yeah.
And now you have that clarity of, in order for us to give to others, we have to take care of ourselves. We have to fill up our own cup. We don't wait until our phone the battery is on, 5% before we plug it in. At least I know I don't, and I don't think most people do these days. You know, you could be at 60% or 65%, and you're plugging in your phone. It's like, oh, I got to make sure my phone is charged up. So that's what we need to do with ourselves, right? To charge up that battery so we can give to others. Because when our cup is full, it trickles down in a positive way to all our relationships. And that's the biggest gift you can give not only yourself, but also your relationships,
Mhm.
relationships with your hubby, your kids, all of that stuff, right? And so thanks for sharing that. I'm excited for the choir. That's
Mhm.
awesome. You didn't mention
Yeah.
that to me before. Uh,
No.
so if you were, what would you say, Tina, to some other woman, uh, mom with young kids, what would you say to them if they were kind of sitting on the fence, wondering if they should reach out to me for help in regards to resolving their issues? What would you say to that young mom?
Yeah, if they're on like the fence, they don't know if they should, if they shouldn't. I would at least book a consultation,
Hmm.
and see how they feel about it. But in my mind, it's like, what else have you got to lose, really?
Hmm.
And it probably will help.
Hmm.
Um, I would tell her, yeah, like book consultation, see how you feel, because everyone has an internal voice or whatever. If you feel good about it, then go
Hmm.
ahead. If you don't, then you
Hmm.
know what? There's other hypnotherapists too, but I do feel like it does help the hypnotherapy. Yeah.
Yeah, and like the thing is, and we said this, I said this to you like the whole time we were working together. You put in the work, you put in the effort, you committed to yourself, even when you were in that low state. You decided you needed change, you wanted change, and you showed up every single day for yourself and you did the work. You showed up to our committed appointments and you did the work. And amazing things happened for you pretty quickly, actually, when we really think back to it, right?
Hmm.
And so the most important thing is if we want change, we have to want change,
Hmm.
and we have to do the work, right? Because this is not a magic wand. But I say like the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, right? For things to change, we have to change. If what we're doing isn't working, we got to shake that tree. Got to do some
Hmm.
things really different, right? And so
Yes.
it's been such a pleasure working with you, Tina, over the month and being your accountability buddy to keep you on that forward momentum. And that's what
Hmm.
we did, by having, multiple appointments every week, there was no point where you could have really a chance to really go downhill. We were
Hmm.
kind of like keeping that steady state and slowly going up and up and up, right? So I wanted to thank you. Thank you for the trust in me and thank you for showing up for yourself, of course. And if you're watching Tina's story today and you're wondering if maybe I might be able to help you with the issues that you're going through. I would encourage you to book a consultation with me. I'll provide the link at the bottom of the video here. Please subscribe to my channel if you want to get more access as the videos coming out, more testimonials, more resources. And on the consultation, of course, we'll have a chat, find out what's going on. And by the way, of course, we mentioned this a few times, Tina, today. I don't do any coping or managing strategies. I help, my clients deal with these issues for good. So they're moving on with their life, living their best life in that, as Tina likes to use the word, neutrality, in that
Hmm.
neutral state, right, Tina?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely neutral now.
neutral.
Yeah, which I
Not
want to be. That was my goal, like to feel normal. Yeah.
Yeah, normal neutrality every single day, being able to handle the ups and downs in a neutral state, in that
Yes.
calm state. And you definitely accomplish that for sure. So thank you everyone for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Bye for now.